Hey folks, welcome to Pendant and Ring. Today we have a tale of dictatorship involving a power-hungry fruit company, the international love of coffee, and an annual propaganda party that got its start the same year that this coin was minted. This coin pendant holds a Guatemala 1 real from 1901. It's available in the Every Magical Day jewelry store. You can find a direct link to this coin necklace in the description below. Let's hop in the time machine and watch a dictator build a self-protective oligarchy in 1901. While we travel back in time, click the like button to let YouTube know you like history videos. Subscribe and click the bell to let me know you like this history video. Arriving in Guatemala in 1901, one of the first things we would notice is wealth disparity. Guatemala was made of haves and have-nots. The president of Guatemala was a dictator oligarch in the making. Relatively unknown in politics, he was appointed provisional president when his predecessor was assassinated in 1898. As soon as he was sworn in, he reopened the elementary schools that had been shuttered by his predecessor. That move won him public support, and he won the following election fair and square, as far as history can tell. Then he got the brilliant idea to modify the Guatemalan constitution so he could be the president forever. Let's call this move red flag number 1. Newly elected president of Guatemala, Manuel Estrada Cabrera, was a member of the Liberal Party and set about building infrastructure to increase exports. Coffee had been the financial backbone of Guatemala, but the oversupply crashed the coffee market in 1899, the same year that the United Fruit Company started absorbing equatorial exports who found themselves in financial straits. There was a brand new Guatemala railroad 60 feet shy of completion due to the coffee crash that President Cabrera decided to finish, and he did just that, without consulting anyone in his cabinet. Red flag number 2. At the same time, he followed in the footsteps of previous Guatemalan presidents and did away with all of his rivals. Red flag number 3. He also established a spy network to ensure any opposing political viewpoints were silenced. We'll call that red flag number 4. The 5th red flag came when President Cabrera privatized the postal service by putting the United Fruit Company in charge, again without consulting anyone. Red flag number 6 followed enseguida when President Cabrera, again acting on his own, provided the monopoly holding post office managing United Fruit Company grants to build rail lines, thus boosting their export capabilities and further eroding market diversity. None of these dastardly actions garnered public support, so the president hired a newspaperman to spin some good news. The man tasked with propaganda spin was Rafael Spinola. I'm not kidding, that was his real name, and he was the Secretary of Infrastructure. He came up with the idea to host annual festivals celebrating Guatemalan scholars, or at least those who agreed with Cabrera and his decisions. The celebration of these yes-men was called the Fiestas Minervalias. The festivals took place at beautiful temples modeled after Minerva's temples in ancient Greece. The fiestas were touted to international audiences as celebrations of education and the arts in the progressive environment of Guatemala. They were propagandistic successes, and international guests devoured the publicity pate, hook, line, and sinker. While the haves were sipping cocktails in international limelights, the have-nots were organizing in the worker camps. The United Fruit Company was President Cabrera's golden child, and when they complained about the workers wanting a living wage and safe working environment, Cabrera showed his company support by quashing any dreams of fair practices. There was a United Fruit Company strike once, and President Cabrera dispatched the armed forces, but the commanders refused to go. So the president ordered a private armed unit to open fire in the United Fruit Company's workers' compound in the middle of the night. Men were killed sleeping in their bunks. That put an end to organized labor negotiations. How many red flags do we have now? Thank goodness 1901 is a long time ago, and we don't have to live under the United Fruit Company's thumb or President Cabrera's watchful eyes. His plan to stay in power forever was foiled during the tragic week in the spring of 1920 by none other than scholars and unionists, those he tried to win over and murder, respectively, at the beginning of his reign. While we travel back to the future, click like, subscribe, and ding the bell. Then use the link in the description to see more pictures of the 1901 Guatemalan coin pendant that survived. See you next time on Pendant and Ring.